I have hardly seen any ads on television by the Liberal Party. Election day draws near. Are the Liberals planning to go on the offensive with attack ads to counter the Conservative and NDP ads anytime soon?
Thank you, Katrina. I'm not a good TV watcher these days, but I'm sure we have a lot of ads. My style is not to go to low-blow attack ads. We may have a contrast showing Mr. Harper copying a speech in Australia. It's a fact. It's not something that is a low-blow attack ad. But we want, above all, to explain why we have an ideal for our country, a vision for our country, an action plan for our country, and a plan for the short term for the tough times in which we are, is so what I want to show.
You don't think you're doing any negative ads? Do you see all the ads before they go on the air? Do you have to approve them yourself?
It's my responsibility to be sure that they are acceptable, they are not of bad taste.
So there's nothing you've seen that you would consider negative?
No, I think it's a contrast between what Mr. Harper is doing and what I'm proposing, but I'm not attacking his character as he did with me. Never low-blow attack ads have targeted an individual as much as me, millions of dollars, and as much as the Green Shift as a policy with lies. So I think Canadians will take that into account. We'll see October 14th if, when you speak to the big hearts and the great minds of Canadians, you win, or if you win when you go with low-blow attack ads.
You remember those ads that the Conservatives ran in '93 against Jean Chrétien? Mm-hmm. Remember the ones they pulled?
Yes.
Have any of the ads that have been on about you, would you compare any of those to that ad that ran against Jean Chrétien?
Between all these ads, I refuse to choose. I reject all of them.
But you think they've been unfair, below the belt?
Oh, yes. And Stephen Harper...
Why in particular? What is it about them that bothers you so much?
Because it's the only thing they know, to try to put down your opponents instead of explaining your own vision and what you hope to do for your country.
But are they distorting what you're saying, or do you think they distort the way you are, the person you are, the way you look?
And in some ways, I think Mr. Harper gave me a great help. Because when came the debates, I was able to have the real Stéphane Dion in the living room of Canadians. And they discovered that they have been, that Mr. Harper distorted the reality, that I have nothing to do with the character he invented. They wanted to define myself their own way, and to define our policies their own way. Canadians have seen that more and more. I think it will make a big difference October 14. We'll see. It's not only a battle between a very right-wing visions and our vision for a richer, fairer, greener Canada. It's also a battle between two styles of leadership and two styles of doing politics. We'll see if it's gimmicks like the one Mr. Harper proposing that will win, or the right thing to do, the right policies for ourselves and our children.
All right. I'm sure he thinks his policies are the right ones for
No, I'm sure he's not.
Well.
No, I don't agree with you. I'm sure he knows that, let's say, to cut the diesel tax by 2 cents is a gimmick. When he announced that, and it's a quarter of the cost of their platform, to decrease the tax on diesel by 2 cents. When he announced that, the day after, the cost of diesel went up by 2 cents. It's a gimmick. It will do nothing to help the country. It's costly. It's not the right thing to do in order to have a more efficient economy and to create jobs in Canada. And he knows that.
Stephen asks, with respect to the Liberal Party's approach to crime control, could you please explain how your intended ban on handguns and semi-automatic long guns will remove illegal weapons from criminal gangs?
Thank you. I believe in gun control. It makes a difference. If you compare the United States and Canada, the crime rate is much higher in the United States, but it is especially true for crimes made with guns. Gun control works. The police is asking us to have strong gun control. This being said, I'm a lover of the wildlife. And I know that good hunters are good protectors of the wildlife because they want to give this gift of nature to their children. So I will be a strong friend of our hunters. But everybody knows that you don't go hunting with the military assault weapon. This must be banned, period. It's for our military, but it has no purpose in our country, otherwise than the military.
I'm currently 20 years old and residing in Lakehead University in Thunder Bay, Ontario. So if you form the next government, what would you be willing to change in your carbon tax plan to appease other leaders so that the bill will be passed and the motion be put into place in Canada? Or would you risk another election? Or would you just avoid it altogether to stay in power? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I strongly believe the green shift should have been done in Canada 20 years ago. I strongly believe that Canada must be a champion of the fight against climate change. The world is waiting for a leadership. The leadership must come with the countries that have the best universities, the best know-how, the best ability to handle technology. Canada is one of them. The green shift is part of this solution.
But his question is about the flexibility needed to run a minority government.
I don't,
you know,
okay.
while Stephen Harper's first minority government went through, you and the other opposition leaders were saying he's got to be more flexible.
Peter,
so if you were in that position.
I am in this race to win. I will use every minute for that, not to speculate about what if, what if, what if. I'm saying...
Isn't that a legitimate question? All the polls
this is a
suggest
legitimate answer. My answer is that I want to use every minute to convince Canadians to vote Liberal. It's very important. I'm convinced that we have by far the best approach for the country. You speak about Mr. Layton. He's committing with monopoly money. He wants to fund his never-ending platform in raising the
okay, but let's be fair to this gentleman. He wants an answer about, you know, would you be flexible in negotiating with, to ensure that part of your bill gets through, would you be willing to be flexible if it was a minority government and you were Prime Minister?
I will be certainly open to consider what the other parties have to propose. I will have received a mandate from Canadians to be sure that we'll have a richer, fairer, greener Canada, and that we'll go through the storm in which we are today the best way. And I will govern accordingly with the great team we have at the Liberal Party. And I will take into account the views of the other parties. Certainly, I have shown that. I have shown that I'm able to work with Madame May in Central Nova, which is quite innovative, to fight climate change, which is the worst environmental threat humanity is facing. You need to be innovative. To fight the storm in which we are in the economy for the short term, you need to be innovative and open to all the suggestions. So I will listen to what the other parties have to say. But Mr. Layton had an opportunity to come in this election with a credible platform, and he came with something that would be a job killer. That is to raise the burden of fiscal burden of our business by $50 billion. The world is not doing that.
Okay,
Mr. Dewar in Manitoba is cutting the corporate tax. So
okay,
why he came with that?
I'm being yelled at
Okay.
to go to a break. Ask about this issue of coalition government in a general way. Because I think it's, you know, you look at all the different polls, and as you said, there have been all kinds of different ones. But almost all of them point to some form of a minority situation, which raises the question, always does, about potential coalitions. And it seems to me that it's a fair and legitimate question to ask, the public to ask. Are there conditions under which you would see yourself in a coalition with another party to form power?
And I think it's a legitimate answer to tell you that my only goal is to convince Canadians to vote Liberal. That the stake is big. Whether it is Stephen Harper, whether it is me, the Prime Minister, we all know that. So all Canadians, we want more social justice. We want to fight poverty. We'll never have a Prime Minister more committed than me to fight poverty. All Canadians who want to fight climate change now and to have a clean environment, you will never have a greener Prime Minister than me. And all Canadians, we want to face the storm we are about our economy and to build an economy of the 21st century that will create jobs. You know now that the Conservatives are poor managers. So join us, join the Liberal Party, and vote Liberal the 14th of October.
All right, let me ask it another way then. Do you think after this election, if it does end up in that gray zone, let's not even try to suggest who might be there at the top of the numbers list. Do you think after this election, given the whole way it was called with the new election law, that there's a role for the Governor General to play in making a decision about who should be asked to govern?
I'm here not to speak about what the Governor General may do or not, but to highlight the differences. Mr. Harper does not understand the role of the government in order to help the people in the tough times in which we are. Mr. Layton has shown that he does not understand the market economy and how to create jobs instead of to kill jobs. Only us are able to make the link between the environment and the economy. And in the tough times in which we are, people are not thinking about the Governor General today. They are thinking about their savings, their pensions, their mortgages, their jobs.
All right.
So
Gotta leave
we
it at
need
that.
to vote in having that
Okay.
in mind.
All right. I got to leave it at that. I do